Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. In this video, I will bring to you the current affairs of 21st of January. Let's start the video. The cabinet of which state government, they have decided to launch a scheme called Mana Oru Mana Badi. So remember, this is written in Telugu. So the answer can be only among these four options, it can only be Telangana. What does this mean? It means our village, our school. Basically, this is a scheme on which the government of Telangana will spend 7,289 crore rupees for providing better infrastructure and quality education in the government schools. For example, digital boards will be put in every school. So it's basically a education upgradation scheme. And Telangana government has also decided to introduce English medium in all the government schools in the state from the academic year 22-23, that is from 1st of April 2022. And they have also decided to regulate the fee in the private schools, junior and degree colleges, because the fee is very, very high now in Telangana in the private schools. The answer is Telangana. And Telangana, remember, very similar scheme is by Andhra for upgrading the education in the government school. It is called SALT program. It is funded by the World Bank, right? Supporting Andhra's learning transformation, all SALT. So Telangana, Mana Oru, Mana Badi, and Andhra is SALT. Now Telangana Chief Minister is Chandrasekhar Rao. Telangana launched a mobile app also called Palle Pragati. Palle Pragati mobile app. And there are different mobile projects, schemes. For example, there is a Dalit Bandhu scheme that was started recently. The most famous scheme of Telangana is Raitu Bandhu, and it has been praised by many international organizations. One of the most, this scheme actually works on the ground. One of the best schemes of India, Raitu Bandhu. Then there is another scheme called Raitu Vedika, which is in Telangana. And Telangana, the great Indian B. Santosh Babu, he was awarded the Mahavir Chakra for his exceptional courage during the Galvan Valley battle. And his memorial has been set up in his hometown, Suryapet in Telangana. So he was from Suryapet. And there is a very important village called Pochampalli, which is in Nalgonda district of Telangana. And it has been declared as one of the best tourism villages in the world by United Nations World Tourism Organization that is based in Madrid. And Telangana is also the #1 performing state in India in the ODF plus villages, right? Highest number of ODF plus villages are in Telangana. And it is also #1 in the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission implementation. And don't forget that the first open rock museum of India has been opened in the capital, Hyderabad. And the first high ash coal to methanol project has been set up by BHEL again in Hyderabad. And in Telangana, there was a industrial conference called Numaish 2022 that was inaugurated recently. It's an industrial exhibition, 81st All India Industrial Exhibition called Numaish. It is called Numaish. And there is a chess player also from Telangana called Raja Ritvik. He is from Warangal, R. Raja Ritvik. And there is a Raja Chari, NASA astronaut. He is also from Telangana. There is a scheme Hara Bhara for afforestation and planting of trees. It is also from Telangana. So there is a lot to remember about Telangana. National Disaster Response Force. It works under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Right? Who is the Home Minister of India? Amit Shah. He is also the Minister for Cooperatives. So when did they celebrate their foundation day? So this organization came into being on 19th of January 2006. So it was there. They celebrated their 70th foundation day recently. They celebrated their 70th raising day, and the answer is 19th of January. There are 13,000 Jawans in NDRF who work tirelessly to make our country a better place, to protect us from natural disasters. And NDRF comes under National Disaster Management Authority. Again, Ministry of Home Affairs. And who is the Director General of NDRF? Atul Karwal. Atul Karwal. Atul Karwal. And what is the motto of NDRF? Apada Seva Sadaiv Sarvatra, which means sustained disaster response service under all circumstances. So this much you have to remember. UBS Bank has won the right to sell which of the following Indian fugitives' London home? So the news is tightening on Vijay Mallya and the UBS Bank. So UBS Bank is a Swiss bank. Okay, it is a Swiss bank and it is headquartered in Zurich. In Zurich, we also have the headquarters of FIFA, the football governing body, who recently gave the World Player of the Year award to Robert Lewandowski, who is from Poland, Best Player of the Year. So Vijay Mallya's London home will be auctioned now by the UBS Bank. And Vijay Mallya could soon be brought to India also, who knows. Right? Vijay Mallya basically owes 185 crore rupees to UBS Bank. So they will take back the money by auctioning his home. He is hiding in London right now. Which Indian naval ship recently had an explosion in its internal compartment at the naval dockyard in Mumbai? In a very unfortunate incident, there was an explosion at INS Ranveer. It's a very old ship, the INS Ranveer. And it is one of the oldest ships of India. It is a Soviet era destroyer. It was commissioned in 1986. So you can see it is a 36 years old ship. And it is a Rajput class destroyer that was built for the Indian Navy. And there was a fire and 10 people died. 11 people were, approximately 11 people died. In fact, 3 naval personnel also died. They passed away. Very unfortunate. And this was a ship, attached to the Eastern Naval Command that is headquartered in Visakhapatnam. Don't forget that. Now, talking of ships, there were some ships that were in news. So, for example, there is ICGS Sarthak. It was recently given to the Indian Coast Guard by the Goa Shipyard Limited. Then there is INS Sandhayak, the most important. INS Sandhayak, there are 2 INS Sandhayak. One INS Sandhayak was decommissioned in July 2021 and the new INS Sandhayak is the large survey vessel. It was inaugurated in Kolkata by Garden Ridge Shipbuilder and Engineer. So GRSE has made the survey ship called INS Sandhayak. It is first of the 4 that they will manufacture. And R. Hari Kumar is the Admiral R. Hari Kumar is the current chief of the Indian Navy. There is another ship that was given to the Indian Navy called INS Vela, and INS Vela has been made by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilder. Mazagon Dock Shipbuilding, which is in Mumbai. So try to remember all of these ships which are in news. What is the name given to a giant asteroid which is bigger than Burj Khalifa, which passed the Earth recently? So this is a kind of a comparison that it is being drawn. Burj Khalifa is the tallest monument in the world. It is a building in Dubai, Burj Khalifa. And the giant asteroid is 7482, also known as 1994 PC1. And would you believe it? It passed so near to Earth. It passed roughly 1.98 million kilometers. So it could have even there could have been a collision with the Earth. It was classified as potentially hazardous because 1.98 million kilometer, and although you might think, okay, it is still like 19 lakh kilometer, but in universe term, this is a very small distance. This is a very small distance. And asteroids, they are made up of rocks. They are rocky objects, right? So if it would have hit Earth, there would have been some destruction in wherever it would have fell, So it is called 1994 PC1 because it was discovered first time in 1994. And that also reminds me that there is a new planet that has been discovered. Its shape is of potato, or you can also say shape is of a rugby ball. And the name is WASP 103b. WASP 103b. Recently, which operation is launched by the Border Security Force to increase the surveillance in the Pakistan border? So we have a Pakistan border with various states like Jammu Kashmir, like Punjab border, Rajasthan border, Gujarat border. the border with Rajasthan is the longest one. So, and which Indian force protects our border with Pakistan and Bangladesh? It is Border Security Force. The operation that they have launched is Operation Sard Hawa. This operation was launched last year also during winters. So they launched something known as Operation Garam Hawa. Garam Hawa means hot air. So Garam Hawa is during the summers and Sard Hawa means cold air. It is during the winter to control the infiltration of our border by the Pakistani terrorists. So the answer is Border Security Force started Operation Sard Hawa. Right? Operation Sard Hawa to increase the surveillance surveillance on the Pakistani border. And this operation was launched in Rajasthan, at the Rajasthan border, especially in the Jaisalmer region. And who is the Director General of the Border Security Force? Pankaj Kumar Singh. He is the head of the BSF. And who is the head of the CRPF? It is Kuldeep Singh. Kuldeep Singh is also the head of the NIA right now, National Investigative Agency. And who is the head of the CISF, Central Industrial Security Force? It is Sheelvardhan Singh. What about Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force? It is Sanjay Arora. Sanjay Arora. So try to remember all of these things. What about National Security Guard? It is M.A. Ganpati. M.A. Ganpati. Renowned personality Narayan Debnath passed away. What profession was he known for? So he was a cartoonist. He was a Bengali cartoonist, Narayan Debnath. And his cartoons used to appear in a lot of comics, lot of newspapers. He was also awarded the Padma Shri. And he was also the winner of the Sahitya Academy Award. And he held the record for the longest running comics by an individual artist for his comics called Honda Bhonda. Honda Bhonda comics, So this comic ran for 53 years. So this was a record, Honda Bhonda. There was another comic called Nonte Fonte. There was another one called Bantul the Great. All of these were comics which was published by him. Who is appointed as the new Vice Chief of the Army? Very important question, because it is usually the Vice Chief who becomes the Chief. It is Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey. Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey. So he is the new Vice Chief of the Indian Army. Only second now to the Manoj Mukund Narvane. So when Manoj Mukund Narvane will take over as the Chief of Staff, most likely, then he will become the Army Chief. So this is a very important question. Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey. Army Day was celebrated on 15th of January. Nitin Gadkari, he inaugurated Madhavbaug's Power MAP. It is India's first intelligent habit tracking system for whom? So remember, it is for chronic diseases. Any patient who is suffering from chronic diseases, all the parameters will be analyzed properly. So this Power MAP application, it integrates various medical services like pathology lab, dietitian, exercise expert, stress counselor, and it is a synergistic approach. And then they all come together, these services, and they create a profile of the patient. So this is for patient who is suffering from chronic disease like cardiac disease, diabetes, blood pressure, and all of these. This is basically a Ayurvedic approach. In fact, this company, Madhavbaug, the name of the company is Vaidya Sane Ayurved Lab Limited. They call themselves Madhavbaug. So this device was launched by Nitin Gadkari. His constituency is Nagpur, which is in Maharashtra, in Vidarbha. Which Indian female tennis player recently announced that she will retire from tennis after the 2022 season? So this is her last season. She is the great Sania Mirza. In fact, she is the one who put India on the tennis map. So she is a winner of many Grand Slams. Who can forget her team with Mahesh Bhupati, Martina Hingis? She is also married to Pakistani captain Shoaib Malik. So she won 6 Grand Slam titles. This can be asked in the exam. How many Grand Slam title did she win? She won 6 Grand Slam. And this time Sania Mirza also participated in the Olympics also. She represented India along with Ankita Raina. So an absolute legend of the Indian tennis, Sania Mirza has retired. Which country's longest underwater tunnel named Taihu is now open to vehicle traffic? So remember, this is a tunnel which will connect Shanghai with Nanjing. Shanghai with Nanjing, and Nanjing is the capital of Jiangsu province. So basically this tunnel has been opened in the Jiangsu province. The tunnel is 10.79 kilometer long. Okay, remember the distance in kilometer, not in miles. In India generally they ask kilometer only. And it is located below the lake Taihu. So it is the Taihu tunnel in China. The answer is China. And this tunnel was built at a cost of approximately 10,000 crore, $1.56 billion. Very costly. And it's a two-way tunnel. Okay, it has 6 lanes, 17 meter wide. It also has colorful LED lights. So it will connect Shanghai with Nanjing, the capital of Jiangsu. Shanghai, of course, is the headquarter for New Development Bank. New Development Bank or BRICS Bank. And Shanghai also had the largest metro system that was inaugurated in Shanghai. And don't forget, who is India's ambassador to China? So it is P.K. Rawat. He is right now the ambassador of India to China. And there is a Chinese lady called Wang Yaping. She became the first Chinese woman to do a spacewalk. Spacewalk is also known as EVA, extravehicular activity. Extravehicular activity. Which state government of India recently banned a 100-year-old theatre play called Chintamani Padya Natakam? Chintamani Padya Natakam. So it was banned by the Andhra Pradesh government. It is a very old play, it is a very old play. So this play was written by a person called Kallakuri Narayana Rao. I will tell you why they have banned. Okay, so Kallakuri Narayana Rao wrote this play in 1920. And this play was performed for the last 100 years. In fact, last year, in 2020, they celebrated the 100th anniversary of this play. Very old play. So what is this play about? So in this play, Chintamani is a prostitute. Okay, she is a prostitute who sells her body for survival. But she worships Lord Krishna and she attains liberation or moksha. Okay, so this is the story of the play. There is a prostitute called Chintamani. But in this play, there is another character. Okay, in this play, there is another character called Subbi Shetty. Subbi Shetty is one of the character of the play and he goes to this prostitute. And in this process, he loses all his property to Chintamani. So Subbi Shetty belongs to the Arya Vyasya community. Arya Vyasya community. So the Arya Vyasya community objected that this character is being shown, Subbi Shetty character of this play is being shown in a very bad light. Because whoever watches this play will think that the people of the Arya Vyasya community, they are like that only, that they visit the red light areas often. So it was a demand of the Arya Vyasya community to ban this play. And the government of Andhra has done exactly that. This play will not happen anymore. So it's a Telugu play, Chintamani Padya Natakam. Who is appointed as the new chairman and managing director of Air India? So remember, VDD, Vikram Dev Dutt. Vikram Dev Dutt, remember, he has been appointed as the chairman and managing director of Air India. Very important. He is a senior IAS officer. Of course, Air India is acquired by which company? Thales Private Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Tata Sons or Tata Group. So Air India was acquired by the Tata Group through the Thales Private Limited. Which ministry organized the Streets for People challenge to make the roads more pedestrian friendly? So pedestrian is a person who walks on the road. So make the roads and streets more walk friendly. So it was organized by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And they also had launched 2 more challenges, So one is called Nurturing Neighborhood Challenge. Nurturing Neighborhood Challenge. It was also launched by them. And Cycles for Change Challenge. Cycles for Change Challenge. This was also launched by the Ministry of Housing Urban Affairs. It is headed by Hardeep Singh Puri. He is also the Minister for Oil and Gas. And don't forget that this ministry also started a program called SAR recently. Which group carried out drone attack on oil tankers in Abu Dhabi recently? So it is the Houthi rebels of Yemen. They are basically a Shia group. Okay, Saudi Arabia, UAE, all of these are Sunni Islamic countries. So there is this divide. Basically, they have been carrying out attacks in the UAE also and Saudi Arabia also. So Houthi rebels are supported by another Shia country called Iran. Iran is the largest Shia Muslim country in the world. So Iran is Shia Muslim, right? Saudi Arabia and UAE, they are Sunni Muslim. And Houthi rebels are supported by Iran. So it is kind of a proxy war. That is why Saudi Arabia is bombing Yemen incessantly. Because in Yemen, the North Yemen is controlled by the Houthi rebel. They are very, very strong, very, very powerful now. Right? So don't forget this. UAE, what is the currency of UAE? Currency of UAE is called dirham. So if you go to Dubai, carry dirham with you because Dubai is in UAE. And Dubai is the headquarter for ICC also, International Cricket Council. Recently, which organization launched Saakthi mobile app to provide information about security markets? Saakthi mobile app is for investor education basically, and it will provide all the information about mutual funds, how they work, and all of that. So securities market are basically those market where the securities are bought and sold. Securities are nothing but guarantees, right? So it is SEBI. SEBI has launched the Saakthi mobile app. You can see in the Saakthi, R is written as the rupee symbol, right? So this is the Saakthi app. And Indian Renewable Energy Organization, IREDA, they recently launched a portal called Whistleblower Portal. Whistleblower Portal. Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency or IREDA. Now don't confuse it with IRENA, which is International Renewable Energy Agency, and it is headquartered in Abu Dhabi. And don't confuse it with IEA, International Energy Agency, headquartered in Paris, or International Atomic Energy Agency, headquartered in Vienna. Which one of the following high court has become India's first high court to induct a digital justice clock? What is digital justice clock? Will it tell you time? No, it will tell you about the pendency that is there. So for example, there will be a clock that will be put. It will tell about the number of total cases, the number of the pending cases in the court, and all of these in a structured format, so that the people will know what is the pendency in the court, right? So it was made functional in the Gujarat High Court. The answer is the Gujarat High Court. Where is it located? So it is in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad High Court, you can also call it. Ahmedabad High Court. And who is the Chief Justice of the Gujarat High Court? Arvind Kumar. Arvind Kumar right now is the Chief Justice of the Gujarat High Court. And Gujarat High Court was also the first High Court in India to start the YouTube live streaming of the cases. Live streaming of cases was also started first by the Ahmedabad High Court or the Gujarat High Court. And one more High Court was in news recently. It is the Kerala High Court because it is the first paperless High Court of India. The retirement age of a High Court judge is 62 years. 62 years. Who has been elected as the new president of European Union Parliament? European Union Parliament, as the name says, it is the parliament for the European Union. So this person is from Malta. Malta is a country. Malta's capital is Valletta. It's a European country. And the name of the person is Roberta Metsola. Roberta Metsola has become the new president of the European Union Parliament. She is only the third woman to be elected to this post, but she is the youngest president of European Parliament. So European Parliament, where is it headquartered? The headquarter is in Strasbourg, and Strasbourg is a beautiful city in France. European Parliament is located in 3 places: Strasbourg, Brussels in Belgium, and Luxembourg. But the headquarter is in Strasbourg. Headquarter is in Strasbourg, which is in France. So that was the video for 21st of January. I will see you in the video of 22nd of January. Thank you for watching StudyIQ.